I was very lucky last November to be brought in on the project, and in front of me were amazing facilitators, and there were a lot of groundwork done, so it was great that I was able to come and get the script and just get to work on preparing them for filming it, because they were talking about the issues already. They were aware of I suppose safety issues around online dating, and the piece that they performed today, they put that together themselves, which again, if they weren't aware of the issues, they couldn't have done that. Yeah, and decided on what kind of characters would be there within that dynamic and who would want to use that dynamic for personal gain. 5 weeks ago, they didn't even think they could go on stage. By week 3, they were saying maybe, and after that there was no objection, so that in itself. And I think we were able to build on the work that they done in the film, the confidence they got, the teamwork that was developed through that process. So I think there are a lot of outcomes for them, and it's been a great project to work on.
Well, I've just left that room, and I have left a room full of very confident young people. When we first started this process back in September 2013, there were an awful lot of very reluctant participants who did it because I made them do it as they perceived it. They've been on a very long journey through which they've made friendships, bonded with their friends, they've had their voice heard, and they have developed an awful lot of very technical skills that we as teachers would never have been able to give them. If it hadn't been for Bounce, they wouldn't have been able to become proficient as music editors or filmmakers. What I have seen is youngsters who reluctantly did it, a couple of Divas drops, but now they're confident and they're proud, and they feel like stars because this is a showcase event, but also they feel that their voice has been heard and that they have something valuable to contribute that was listened to. This is a project that shouldn't be done in isolation. There are a lot of issues that have been brought up. The whole thing about relationships, sexual romantic relationships, online dating, where you meet a boyfriend or a girlfriend, how to keep safe, that kind of thing. It's not enough for us as teachers or parents or adults to show that to the young people and assume that that's enough for them. We need to follow that up by supporting them in school, because the bottom line is that there are some scary issues that were raised during the whole project that we now have to facilitate the young people exploring those. But the thing that's important is that they have a strong friendship base now that has been built up over the weeks through the participation in the project, that they know that they can support each other, but more importantly that they know the importance of friend support and friendship relationship in addition to any other form of relationship.
And do you think it's a useful resource, just a general school resource, and an online toolkit maybe for other schools to signpost to?
Definitely. If I hadn't been involved in the project myself, I would definitely use the online toolkit. As a teacher, you need to be very, very aware, because there was an awful lot of technical know-how and resources available. But we all have iPads, we all have cameras, so we don't need the whole vast array of the digital technology and that the Bounce guys brought with us. But more importantly, the stuff that I learned about storyboarding, developing a script, and then the form theatre as a form of expressing an alternative action, rather than just being preached to by the teacher. The youngsters are coming up with those kinds of solutions themselves. Definitely, you have to be aware that that there was a lot of technical expertise involved, but it is accessible to the ordinary teacher with no expertise. When I was there listening to how some of the stories were developed, there was a lot of very difficult and challenging relationship issues around domestic abuse, drug and alcohol, breakdown of communication between parents and children, and you have to be there with resources to pick up those pieces. It's not just about the process of getting your film at the end of it. You have to be there to support the youngsters, and that's, I suppose, where we, the non-technical experts, would come in to support the youngsters in that.
He just said that he was doing the music, and that the play was about relationships and online safety.
Did that prompt any sort of discussion at home about relationships or dynamics?
Well, not really about relationships as such, but really, I suppose it does prompt, as a parent, online safety. And it is something that I would discuss with all the children, but it is probably more relevant than I probably thought. Well, all he really brought home was the brochure for today and stuck it up in the fridge and just let me know that it was on, and
And do you think then educating Jared because he goes to special school is more important than, say, the other siblings that he has?
I would say it's more important because he's more vulnerable. I notice at the minute, Jared is 16, and the other children have opportunities for intimacy that he does not have, and I think it probably is more relevant to him for that reason. I find him yearning intimacy, really, at his age. Just some things that he does and says, and his brothers and sisters have that naturally, whereas he doesn't. So I think it is very relevant to him.
And do you think then, looking at the film today, obviously it was an online dating story and so on, do you think producing something like this is useful for the broader community and other school children around about?
Definitely. It's relevant to all children, because all children feel peer pressure. It doesn't matter if you have a learning disability or not. You feel peer pressure when you're a teenager. So, the messages like it's okay to say no, and even that, I think, taking your friends in the background is actually a very good thing.